Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, reflecting on what can happen today that can bring us closer to freedom than yesterday. Well, let's look at it like this. When I speak of good things, I want you to refer to that as being those things that work for everybody good, and we're going to call it God. Now, when we talk about things that does not work for everybody, uh, but work for some maybe, or whatever, we're going to refer to that as the devil. And the reason is because that which does not work for you sometimes work against you, and it causes pain and suffering. That is the distinction. So I just want you to think about those two uh, differences. Now let me see if I can qualify these differences. Let's look at good. Let's look at God. Now, the godly way of looking at human beings on this earth is that every human being on this earth, whoever you are, whatever you are, or you are a human being, you are to be satisfied in this life. And that basically means, that you're not worried about anything. You're not worried about surviving. Those needs are going to be met, whatever they are. You don't have to worry about a shortfall of anything where you might not have what is required in a specific area, someone else does, and all of it is interconnected and related. And the finished product belongs to everybody. And so, what basically happens, you can see it. Let's look at it like this. Let's say you got a president of a university, or a president of a bank, or a CEO of some major corporation. All right? Now, these guys play a major directive role in the direction of your society, your progress, or not. Well, let's also say that you maybe have a janitor, the ones who only clean the toilets. Or you might have someone who works at a facility where people need assistant care. And the only job they do is to give patients baths when they have used the bathroom on themselves. Or cut grass. Something like that. I want you to see the distances between these jobs. You got the one at the top. This is what we always call the top jobs. And we got what you call the low jobs ones that anybody can do, they say. Now, in this godliness, you got these different jobs all in between. And in satisfying all these people in between, that means the man at the top decides that he might want to go to Paris for breakfast tomorrow morning. So can the man that's digging the ditches or cleaning the toilets or bathing the patients. If they want to go to breakfast tomorrow in Paris or any place in the world, they can go. Why? Because that's the way the system is designed. The system is designed so everybody can be satisfied. And because you are, a lot of other things you don't have. But now let's just take this insane. How do we win now? I don't know if you got it. I want to make sure you got this. The reason that all of this stuff is available to every individual in the country or on earth or every human being is because everybody plays a role in the process of creating the resources and goods. They do this because they recognize that the only power that is above any individual in the world is an invisible power. The power that made the earth. They know nobody knows who made the earth, but that's the power that put us here. And that is the only power that is above us. This society that's with God. The only power. And that means you treat everybody like you want to be treated. This is the way you're honoring God. And so, this is why you can experience this wonderful life. On the other hand, when you start talking about the devil basically means that where others believe in a God, an invisible God, the devil thinks that must be lunacy. That must be crazy, believing in something that you can't see. So that being the case, man claims the position of God. And usually that is determined by force. It's determined by not being nice and kind and making sure people got what they need. No, it's by threatening them, scaring them. It's going to take away what they don't know anything about, their lives. And so you end up, excuse me, because of what this coldness that you have, this is what you do. And you get people to follow you. Even though people, everybody got within a built-in thermometer that says good and evil, says God and the devil. Anyway, these people are responding to man being God. Now he's forced people to support him. Now what does it do? Because people's needs got to be met. They always have had to be met. And the resources come from God. They're there. So how does this fake God claim ownership to the resources of God, of the real God? What do they do? Now you might, it's easy for you to understand what they do. What are they doing in Africa right now? I mean, what do all these people, these nations do when they go to Africa? They go to Africa to rob them, to steal from them. But they don't just only go to Africa. They go anywhere that there might be some natural resources, meaning they might be able to be used anywhere all over the globe. And even if you can't use them, if you own them or take ownership of them, you might be able to, what? Profit from it through others. So in order for man to be able to emphasize and express themselves as God, they got to own all of the stuff that God has given to us free. They take it, they lie, they cheat, they steal. When you go back and look in the history books, that's how they took stuff. That's how they got stuff. Fought a war, killed people, take it. Because they were ignorant. They were like animals, didn't know any better. And so this is how the world was moved on, moved forward. So now how do you, now that you got these resources, how do people get it? You need all of this work. So you exploit people. That's when you come up with the money. The money is to replace all of this kindness and wonderfulness that allowed you to have anything that you wanted before. Now you need money. So in order to get this money, I don't have to explain what those requirements are. You know every last one of those requirements. And they are something, aren't they? But that's how you get a food, that's how you get clothing, that's how you get a house, that's how you get a car, that's how you get gas, that's how you do anything you want to do or can do. But in the process of working a system according to man and what man has to go through to do the things that man does, it ends up causing division and lying and cheating. All of this stuff is involved. Dividing the people up for whatever reason. It might be the color of their skin. It might be the texture of the hair. It might be the location where they live at. It might be any old thing, but you got to come up with something to keep people divided. And what you're doing, you're finding some way to exploit people. This now, the man at the top of that totem pole is making billions. The man down here at cleaning the toilets and cutting grass, taking care of the patient, are doing minimum wage. And prices are so high you can't even afford it. So they got you trapped. They got you by the balls, all of us. And now you say, well, where did this come from? This is man. What we see is man living absent God. This is why you can see Putin starting wars. But don't just pick on Putin because he's doing it now. I just say that because some of you are just coming to the knowledge. Well, you can see this. But not too long ago, we started one with Iraq, just doing stuff. And there have been times where every time a war was started, it was for these same kinds of reasons. Power, posturing, got to take something, want to take advantage of something. That's all man without God. And this continues because it has spread. It has spread. It has spread. And now it has overcome the world. The world thinks that this is the righteous way of living. The world thinks that money This big old thing that makes sure that you don't have or some do have is from God. And it is. From man, that God. Well, see, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to say these things to you because I want you to understand that there is no in between. There's no in between heaven and hell. You're in one or the other. If you're in heaven, everybody is experiencing what I just described to you. And if it's anything less than that, you're in hell. Now, what's happening? Because I know you don't agree with that. You're not that low down and dirty. You're not mean and cruel like we describe the devil is. But that's the way the world operates. The world is built on that as a foundation. Now, you might not say, you might feel that you're not doing those kinds of things, but that's the way the world operates. And it is empowered by that philosophy, and the other part of that is you who do nothing, who say it's not you, but you do nothing. You go along with it. You expect a miracle because you've been told that that God works through miracles. You sit down and don't do anything. You get on your knees and pray, or you go give some money to a preacher, telling them that you're paying a seed or planting a seed while they go buy planes and build them the standards of living just like you wish you could, and nothing changes because you've been denied the truth. You still live in America. All of us who got our nice homes and our nice jobs and go to church every Sunday, whether we're going to a mega church or another, whether we are letting them whip us with a belt for our expression of our religion, or whether they got us eating snakes as an expression of our religion, or whether they are blowing breaths over us and we're falling over to all the pews and stuff as the faith of our religion, and not giving a stink about the pain and suffering that's going on around us because you following the dictates of man. I want you to know that's exactly what you're doing, following the dictates of man. All of America is following the dictates of man unless your life is threatened every day because you're standing up exposing the evils of man and how man causes so much pain to one another, and trying to use that as an opportunity to glorify the goodness and the beauty and the elimination of pain and suffering by following the dictates of God. See, that makes you want to get up every morning. But you know what? Your house might be falling down. Why? Because you ain't got no money. Your cars might not run. They might need fixing or need to be junked. Why? Because you don't have any money. That's the stuff that the devil rules off. And your mission is to change the world. So not only can I get my car fixed by the pros, but you can get your car fixed by the pros. And not only that, while we're getting our cars fixed by the pros are excited because it gives them an opportunity to show the world how wonderful, or not showing the world, just to show us whose cars they're fixing, that they are fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to trust God and to hell with Donald Trump and Republicans who don't know God and Democrats who don't know God. If they resist God, then the hell with them. What does that mean when I say the hell with them? Resist what they do or what they want you to do and stand up and glorify God. And hell bound is where they will see they are going. What that means, they will end up dissipating, because if you don't follow, they got no power. You dig it? Don't follow, they got no power. Until next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.